Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video we are going to be going over every series that I am currently in the middle of. So I have a great habit of starting books in series and then not finishing them. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through these series and maybe the books that I'm stuck on, maybe you all feel the same way, maybe you guys have some of the same thoughts or opinions, and I just want to see how many series in total that I'm currently in the middle of, because I want to make it a goal to finish at least 50% of the series that I'm in the middle of by the end of 2024. So also, sorry if the lighting is not the greatest. First, I wanted to start with the series that I don't have physically and that I read on my Kindle. The very first series is the Vancouver Storm series. Now, these are hockey romances by Stephanie Archer that are on Kindle Unlimited. Now, I actually have finished the ones that are currently out. So this is an ongoing series of hers. So I've read the first one, Behind the Net, and the second one, The Fake Out. So I've read both those books. So there is a third one coming out this year. So that is the book that I have not finished in the series. Next, we have Dirty Air by Lauren Asher. Now, this is her first series, I believe, and it's a F1 racing series. I've only read the first book. I haven't picked up the second book because I hear the second one is not a favorite that people have, that the main guy is like very just too much. So that's the one that I need to get over next. Next, we have The Windy City by Liz Tomford. Now, I read the first one, Mile High, which is a hockey romance, and the second one, The Right Move, which is a basketball romance. I actually completely hated the first book, and the main guy character I felt like was just so awful towards the female main character. Second book, The Right Move, the man is amazing and so is the girl, but the couple from the first one appear a lot in the second one, and there's so much growth with him. I love him so much more in the second one. But the next one I have is a baseball romance, which is Caught Up. I haven't read that one. I have never read a baseball romance book, so I'm a little nervous. It's like single dad nanny trope, but I don't know. I've never read a baseball romance before, so I guess that's kind of why I'm hesitant. Next, we have the King of Sin series by Anna Huang. So I read King of Wrath, and there are 3 other books out. Actually, the 4th one, King of Sloth, just came out last month, and I just haven't really read it. I didn't love the first one. The next one is King of Pride, and I'm very intrigued in it, but this series isn't really like a forefront on my brain where I've wanted to pick it up. Alrighty, so next we're actually going to be talking about the books that are behind me. So the first ones we'll talk about, let me grab the first one, is the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I've read the first one, which is House of Earth and Blood. I actually listened to this on audiobook. I am going to be so honest, I did not care for it at all. I'm not a fan of the main girl character that we are currently following. I have nothing like against her. She's just not a female main character that I personally like. And I hear the first one is kind of set as like people describe it as like a very long murder mystery, which I do agree, but I read this entire book. I have been so confused this entire time, and I was suggested to listen to the audiobook, so hopefully I could understand more of what's going on, and I can't. I didn't. So the next one I have is the House of Sky and Breath. So I have 2 more books out in this series, and this is an ongoing series. Is it? I'm pretty sure. Next is a very beloved series, and that is ACOTAR, and the book that I actually stopped and DNF'd was House of Wings and Ruins by Sarah J. Maas. Now, ACOTAR itself, A Court of Thorns and Roses, was about a 4-star read for me. I enjoyed it. A Court of Mist and Fury, I loved it. let's have a little chit chat about how much beef I have with Bookstagram, Book Talk, BookTube. Here's the thing. People suggest books based on spoilers, and I have had ACOTAR completely spoiled. I have not read A Court of Wings and Ruin. I haven't finished it. I got like 50 pages in, I believe. And I have not read A Court of Frost and Starlight or A Court of Silver Flames. I know exactly what happens in all three of those books, not because I went out of my way to look for spoilers. It's because people are recommending these books, and when books are so widely blown up like ACOTAR has been, everyone is spoiling the book, and I can't stand when people are going to do, if you're going to do a spoiler, hey, it's social media, you know, especially with something as big, you're going to run into spoilers. People who put this review contains spoilers, or spoilers ahead, or spoilers for this, people who don't put spoilers at all, because I've seen so many spoilers that happen in the ACOTAR books that there is not a single thing labeled as spoilers. So if you are going to post something and it is a spoiler, label it as a spoiler. And that is my beef that I have with the entire ACOTAR community. I think the books are great, and there's nothing wrong with this book. I wasn't out of it. I didn't not want to read and finish this series, but the fact that I've had so many people, anytime I'm like, yeah, I'm reading ACOTAR, and your first instinct is to spoil it for me, I'm done. Because I've had this entire series spoiled. Same thing with Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath. Even if I hit not interested, don't want to see it, I'll scroll right past it. I will still somehow get spoilers for that. And so if you're a person who spoils major things in books and doesn't label it as a spoiler, I truly hope all your books have true bookworms, because bookworms are real, and I hope all your books get destroyed. So yeah, that I don't know what it is. Is anyone else like that? Like, if you're reading a book and someone spoils it for you, you're just like, what's the point of me even reading this anymore? And the people who do that, count your days, because I cannot stand it. I will go on an entire rant about it. All right, now moving on to the other books that I have. We have A Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now, this is a trilogy, and I have read Once Upon a Broken Heart, A Ballad of Never After, and I have not read A Curse for True Love yet. I don't know how I've been able to avoid spoilers for that book. I have not read the third one. I really want to. I actually read Once Upon a Broken Heart and then immediately downloaded A Ballad Never After. I don't even have A Ballad Never After physical copy. This is the only physical copy of a book for this series that I have. So I really want to get the physical copies and reread and annotate it, because I really love some of the things that happen in this series. Next, we have the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. So we have Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, which I have both read, and the third one coming out, Onyx Storm. I know there was like hints that this is going to be like 5 books. So I've read all the ones published, but not all the ones out. Next, we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Now, I've actually read The Naturals. I've actually read The Naturals, but I have not read Killer Instinct or the other 2 books, which are All In and Bad Blood. So I've read the first book, but I have not continued with the series. I tried reading Killer Instinct, and I got like 30 pages in, and I was in a book slump when I tried picking it up, and it just wasn't what I was in the mood for. We have Jennifer Lynn Barnes' next series, which is The Inheritance Games. Now, I have actually read The Inheritance Games, and I don't think that this kind of series is a series for me. It's a trilogy. I just don't think that this type of, not writing style, but like this type of plot is just not something that I'm interested in. Same thing kind of with Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I'm not personally really into like games, like where Caraval, it's like a carnival thing. And with this one, it's like these games and stuff you have to play. I just don't feel like that is for me. I'm genuinely in no rush to finish this trilogy. Next, we have probably the duology that will in fact be the death of me, and that is Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves by, and this is from Mary E. Is it Parson? I think it's Parson or Parson, I don't know. Now, here's the thing. So many people love these books and love this duology, and I'm being so honest, I never hear anything but great things for these books. I have actually DNF'd Dance of Thieves 3 times. I've tried reading this book and I cannot get into it. So if you have read Dance of Thieves, can someone comment down below when it started getting good? Like when it started, because I've made it to like 20 pages and then I couldn't do it. And then I made it to 50 pages. And then I was like, okay. And then I just can't get past the 50 page mark. So if one of you guys have watched this, if one of you guys have read this book, please let me know like what point I need to get to, because I want to read this duology so bad and everyone loves it. I've only heard amazing things about this duology and I just cannot get into it, and it's so frustrating because I want to know. The next one we have, I don't know what this series is called, but it is Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I'm not 100% sure what this like series is called, but there is quite a few more books in this series. I read this one. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really recommend it. It's a Hades and Persephone story, but like more modern. I feel like the romance in this book happened way too fast. Like, even if it's not even like, oh, it has to be a slow burn. No, it happens so quickly, like right off the bat. Like we don't even know this man's name. We're just, well, I mean, we know his name, but I'm like, we don't even know what's going on, and we're just over here, you know, going for it. Next, we have Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. I don't even have the 3rd book. I have not read this. Kingdom of the Cursed, have not read it. Let's talk about Kingdom of the Wicked for a second. This book, this is not a spicy book, like there is not spice scenes that are happening. I love the idea of this book, like the thought of this book and the vision. I see it. I see the vision 100%. I rated this book 2 stars, and I think it was because I was being generous. I personally just do not like this book. I would recommend it if you want to dip your little pinky toe in the fantasy waters. I think this series could be really good. If you need something super simple, not complex, I feel like this book and this series is perfect. For me, I felt like it wasn't complex, so that's why I didn't like love it. So if that is something, if you want to dip your toe into the water, I'm not saying that these books that I'm saying that I personally didn't like, I'm not sitting here and being like, these are the worst books ever written. These books are just, in my personal opinion, some of these books are just books that I can't get into or I don't really like. This one, I felt like I've read this type of book before better, and I've read this idea before better. So for me, this is very much so if you want to get into fantasy, you've never read a fantasy book before, you want a romance, I definitely think this would be a wonderful book. But yeah, those are all of these series that I am in the middle of, that I have started, that I haven't finished. If I'm going to count and see how many series I'm currently in the middle of. So I'm currently in the middle of 11 series. So if you guys have read any of these series or read any of these books, let me know which one is your all's favorite, which series you guys think that I should immediately finish, that I should bump up on my TBR. I do have some series that I am also going to be starting this year, so that is super exciting. Don't forget to let me know down below if any of these books or series, what your all's thoughts, opinions of them are. And yeah. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff every YouTuber tells you guys how to do. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!